Hello and welcome to this print live. And the question that we're asking today is, of course, related to the latest development in the Indo-Pak ties. As you would be aware, early morning today, three F-16 fighter jets of the Pakistan Air Force intruded into the Nowshera sector, violating the Indian airspace and carried out bombing at four targets. And on the way back, they were challenged by the MiG-21s of the Indian Air Force. And in this particular chase, we've lost one MiG-21 fighter aircraft and a pilot, Wing Commander Abhinandan, who is currently in the custody of the Pakistan military. So the question that we're asking today is, India says IF pilot missing in action. Pakistan PM calls for talks on escalating tensions. And what happens next? Well, the question of the matter, the answer to this question is that we will have to wait and watch what happens next, because here we have a situation in which India decided to go ahead and strike outside POK. This was India was raising the level of the current of the military engagement that we have had all these years, when as against the Pakistan's proxy war. But this time India decided to go ahead and strike beyond POK, and Pakistan has decided to strike back. And the statement released by the MOFA, that is the Pakistan Foreign Office, that clearly mentioned that Pakistan strikes back. It has gone ahead and raised the level of the engagement that both militaries have when it comes to the proxy war that has been waged in Kashmir. So please do send in your questions, and I'll try and answer as much as you want. At the same time, before that, I'll also say that don't get into the technicalities of it, ask questions regarding more information about Wing Commander Abhinandan. I can tell you for the fact that he's under the custody of the Pakistan military. The Pakistan military has gone ahead and said that there's one more pilot who is in their custody. As of now, the Indian government has said that we have lost one MiG-21 fighter aircraft, and the pilot is missing in action. So there is no official word from the Indian side as far as whether there is a second pilot who is missing or not. The first question, which is coming in from Mansi, she's asking, Pakistan says the missing Indian pilot is in custody. Is this likely claim to be accurate in your opinion? And if it is, what are the potential fallouts of this situation? Well, we were waiting for the official word from the Indian government. The Indian government has come out with a statement. The spokesperson of the ME has come out with a statement saying that we have lost a fighter aircraft, which is MiG-21, and at the same time we also have a pilot who is missing in action. Well, that is as far as the official statement of the Indian government is concerned. But remember that Pakistan has issued a press statement, as well as the DG ISPR, Major General Asif Ghafoor has addressed a press conference, and they've also put out videos of Wing Commander Abhinandan, where he's seen talking, giving out his identity, at the same time asking whether he is in the custody of the Pakistan Army, whether he's speaking to the Pakistani Army person and all. There are multiple videos of Abhinandan which has also come out. So yes, there is no, nobody can dispute the fact that yes, an Indian fighter pilot of the Indian Air Force is in the custody of the Pakistan military. So there is no dispute as far as that fact is concerned. Well, the next question that I've been asked is, what do you think will be India's next step? Well, again, as I said before, one will really have to wait and watch, because here we have a situation where Pakistan has gone ahead and escalated the entire situation. Now, what Pakistan has done is it has intruded into the Nowshera sector, violating the Indian airspace, and attacked military installations. Now, whereas Pakistan claims that it has not, the Indian government, that is the Ministry of External Affairs today, came out with a statement and clearly mentioned that the Pakistan Air Force has targeted military installations. Why I'm stressing on the fact that India has mentioned this is because yesterday, when India carried out the airstrikes in Balakot in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, we had made it absolutely clear that it was a non-military strike. By that, what India meant was the fact that India carried out these strikes in Balakot against terror camps and not against Pakistani military installations or against Pakistani civilians, because any attack on Pakistani military installations would be taken as an act of war. And today, this is exactly what India has said. India has underlined that Pakistan has carried out strikes targeting Indian military installations. So one will really have to wait and watch for the next few hours to see how India really retaliates to this aggression by the Pakistan Army, by the Pakistan Air Force. Remember that when they intruded about 7 kilometers inside the Indian territory in the Nowshera sector. They targeted 4 particular installations, including the brigade, including the brigade headquarters. And when they were challenged by the formation of the MiG-21s, who were on a combat air patrol duty at that particular point of time, they went back. The MiG-21s chased them. They were able to shoot down 1 F-16 fighter aircraft, and in the meantime, we have lost officially as of now 1 MiG-21 aircraft. So yes, one will really have to wait and see how India really responds to it, whether India will go ahead and respond it through the in a similar fashion through the military, or do we use a diplomatic pressure to pile up the pressure on Pakistan or not. Well, I have a question coming in from question coming in about what about Pakistan PM Imran Khan's statement, what if non-state actors retaliate? Well, as far as Pakistan Imran Khan's statement is concerned, well, he will naturally would take a moral high ground today. You have a situation where they intruded into the Indian territory. They have at least 1 Indian fighter pilot in their custody. So yes, Imran Khan would like to, and he is not addressing India at this moment. He is addressing his own citizens. So yes, he would like to show before the citizens that the Pakistan military has an upper hand over India, and yes, he will talk about peace. But as I mentioned, as I've said earlier also in the past, that words don't matter. It's the action on the ground that really matters. If Pakistan is serious about its peace overtures with India, then it will have to take credible and decisive action against the terror camps, against the terrorists that continue to operate on Pakistani soil. The second part of the question was, what if the non-state actors retaliate? Well, this is something, we are in a stage of literally a war with Pakistan. Pakistan has been waging this proxy war in Kashmir for a very long time, for 3 decades nearly. And non-state actors is how you would call them, but I would actually call them state actors, because these terror organizations like the Jaish-e-Mohammed, the Lashkar-e-Taiba, the Hizbul Mujahideen are nothing but an extension of the Pakistani state itself, the Pakistani establishment. So yes, we will see more action, more attacks being carried out by these terror groups at the behest of Pakistan, and it's something that we'll have to prepare for. Remember that when you're in a war with an enemy, it's not the enemy only who will will take the hits. There would be times when when India would have to take the hit, when the Indian security forces will have to take the hit, and sadly, but that is the truth of a war itself. Another question is, Apurva Sasre said, there was a video released on Twitter which showed locals beating captured wing commander. Is that an authentic video? Well, I will not be able to authenticate the video as such, but yes, the particular video does show locals and an Pakistani army personnel along with his gun. It also shows the locals beating up wing commander Abhinandan. If you've seen the video that was released by the ISPR, Abhinandan has injuries on his face. There is a plaster, there is a cloth which covers his injuries. And if you see the video when he landed, there were no injuries on his face. So yes, those injuries happened most likely due to the beating that he had to take at the hands of the locals. Well, another Priyanka is asking, do we have satellite images to prove our hits on the terror camps? Well, I would not get into this argument over whether we need proof or not, but I'll tell you, I can tell you for the fact that when any such operations are carried out, be it the 2003 surgical strike operation or this particular operation in which the IF was used to target this particular camp in Balakot in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region, we have a multiple of air assets that are used. Of course, we also have the NTRO, we have the air assets of the RAW as well as of the Air Force, which is used along with drones. that are used to capture various parts of the operations. So I'm not sure, I would not really get into whether we do have proof or not, and whether we should release the proof or not. But I'm sure that any such operation, there are recordings that are taken not because to show it as a proof, but to go through the operations once it has been completed, to know what went wrong, or how we could have how the Indian army or the Indian forces could have done it better. Well, I have a question which is coming in from Dr. Adil Zia. What about the investigations regarding the Pulwama? What progress are going on? Well, as far as the investigations of Pulwama is concerned, the investigation has been taken over by the NIA, which is probing this particular matter. The NIA recently, earlier this week, I think it was on Monday, that it came out with a statement saying that they've identified the owner of the car which was used for the bombing of the CRPF convoy, in which 40 CRPF personnel were killed. Now, in the initial few days, the identity of the vehicle was very important, because at times it was said that it was a Scorpio vehicle that was used. Later, eyewitnesses said it was probably an Alto, but now it has been established that it was a Maruti Eco car that was used, and the identity of the owner has been established. The owner, the NIA has also gone ahead and put out the picture of this particular owner. The investigating agencies, along with the security agencies, are trying to track him. He's supposed to be a known overground worker of the Jaish-e-Mohammed. So yes, the probe is going on, and one would assume and one would hope that the perpetrators of this crime are brought to justice. How can Indian governments, there's another question that has come in, is how can Indian government save him, Captain Abhinandan? First of all, he's not Captain Abhinandan, he's Wing Commander Abhinandan, and how can Indian government save him? Now, this is Pakistani government. This can't be done through the media. This can't be done in public. You need back channel negotiations to take place for any such results to come. In the past also, we had issues, we had cases where Nachiketa, who was also captured by the Pakistani forces, was handed over back to India. My colleague Nanima Basu is currently doing a story on detailing how we were able to get Nachiketa back, and I think you should log on to www.theprint.in later in the evening to read about the story, to actually understand how Nachiketa was brought back. So yes, I would say that there needs to be back channel talks, and I'm sure both the governments are in touch, as far as both the governments, or at least the military, are in touch with each other to try and find a way to bring him back. But as of now, while the focus is entirely on bringing him back, the other big focus is on how India is going to respond to this airstrike by the Pakistan Air Force, which targeted the Indian military installations. Well, another question that has come in is, Pak made a statement that they will not retaliate. Is this an official statement? Well, yes, of course, they have gone ahead and issued a statement. The Prime Minister Imran Khan, as well as the DG ISPR, along with the Pakistan Foreign Office, has come out with a statement saying that this is not a retaliation to what India did. They wanted to show their capability, but that is something that Pakistan is trying to say officially. But the fact is that Pakistan did carry out an airstrike against India. It flew into India and targeted the military installations. So for Pakistan to say that it is not retaliating is something that personally I would not agree to. Alan Shore is asking, Pakistan government says they shot down 2 MiGs. Is it just incredible that coincidence the same day one Mi-17 crashed down in Kashmir? Well, this particular aerial chase that took place was along the LOC in Nowshera sector, and the Mi-17 that crashed was in Budgam district of Jammu and Kashmir, which is near Srinagar. So yes, one cannot really go ahead and compare these two incidents. These are 2 separate incidents. The Mi-17 V5 chopper of the Indian Air Force crashed, as per preliminary investigations, is because of a certain technical glitch that was there. It is a sad incident that has happened, in which we've lost the pilots of the aircraft, along with, as per the reports coming in, are along with at least 1 civilian. So yes, these 2 incidents cannot be really compared. And at the same time, let me also say, I would not like to quote the Pakistan ISPR spokesperson, but let me quote him here, because he also said that Pakistan has nothing to do with the Mi-17 air crash that took place in Budgam. Now, another question that has been asked is on-ground response in Kashmir. Well, ever since the Pulwama incident has happened, Pakistan has gone ahead and carried out multiple ceasefire violations. Yesterday, for that matter, in all along the LC at various points, and I'm told that about 10 particular points along the LC, the Pakistan had used high caliber guns to violate this ceasefire agreement of 2003. The Indian Army went ahead and responded to the Pakistan Army in a befitting manner, and as per the Indian Army statement, 5 Pakistani posts were also destroyed in India's response. Another question that has been asked is by Samurai Jack. Why are we still using 1950s aircraft? Why is Rahul Gandhi not understanding the importance of Rafale? We use a multiple number of aircrafts. The Indian Air Force would love to go ahead and phase out the MiG-21 Bisons, but the fact is that it is something in its inventory and it has to be used. Throughout the day yesterday, throughout the night, the Indian Air Force has been carrying out the combat air patrol, and they have used multiple aircrafts during various points of time. For example, in the night, when the alert was at the highest level, the Indian Air Force went ahead and used the MiG-29 as well as the Su-30 fighter jets for combat air patrol. But it was in the morning that the MiG-21s were used. I've spoken to the senior officers in the Indian Air Force, and they admit that they were not expecting Pakistan to carry out any such attack at this point of hour, and hence the MiG-21s were used during this particular period. And yes, Indian Air Force is looking for more fighter aircraft. They would be more than happy to face out these MiG-21s and get more the MMRC, which is the medium multi-role combat aircraft. Well, that would be it for today. Thank you for logging in to the Print Live, and thank you for sending in questions. Do log in tomorrow around the same time itself for one of my other colleagues to answer